to the Lost Live Scout, hosted by the Master of Horror, that break down all things light of, and I also do none than anime. I also do anime, music videos, beyond episodes that normally don't do kills and action flicks. I am your host, William Proudy, aka Nexus. Today, we're tallying up that taken deep into the fog streets of London as we unravel the body count in An American Werewolf in London, 1981. Before the blood spill begin to spill, the real life shadow lingers. John Landis, who actually involved the real life tragedy of 3 actors, 1 adult, 2 children, during the filming of Twilight Zone the movie. A somber history added the eerie echoes to his work, particularly the chaotic pinnacle of the circus climax. Today's subject, David Kessler, named after David Knott, who actually in my previous Lost Lives count as Martin from Ice Cream Man, and his buddy Jack Goodman, 2 backpackers from America who actually backpacking through the moors, whose trip spiraled into live horror when they're attacked by a raging werewolf. Jack did survive, but David inherited the werewolf curse and a deadly rampage. Why this movie mattered for me? Well, to tell you the truth, one, Demi actually wanted to do a Lives Lost count, and 2, this is the birth of my werewolf obsession. I'm actually really obsessed with werewolves. I actually know their lore, backstory, and I actually love werewolves. I know about vampires, but werewolves are actually one of my favorite obsessions. So if I actually do the Werewolves 2025 about a purge of a werewolf, a special move that turns people into werewolves, I will actually do that. So, the jaw-dropping transformation scene, also the tragic character arc, Rick Baker detective makeup and practical effects, and landmark horror history. So how many lives did David rack up as a werewolf? And the moon is high, the fog is thick. It is time to count the carnage. Stay tuned for the tally, and don't forget, once bitten, there's no going back. The movie kicks off with the Universal logo and MC company, and followed by Polygram. It's a decade to Jim O'Rourke. Right away, we're dropped off to the fucking moors of England. The song Blue Moon plays as a sheep-laden truck rolls through the mist. David Kessler and Jack Goodman. David, played by David, you might know as Ice Cream from Ice Cream Man, as Martin, who actually did got killed by Last Lives Lost count, and Jack Goodman, who actually pop up in Law and Order and Hitchcock Presents. The drive off. Thank the driver, hop off, and represents about Debbie. You think about her 8th grade. Before we dive in the body count, the origins. The director wrote this script just 18 years old, inspired by a gypsy funeral of Yugoslavia, where the corpse of buried feet first, wrapping garlic, talk about the folklore creeping in. Now hear the behind the scenes. The slaughtered lamb was never real. The actual cottage was in Crickedam, Wales. The crew built the pub from scratch. The iconic puffy jackets, costumes, design, Deborah Naram clothes them to make David and Jack look like astronauts to American exploring an alien world. The moment Jack laughed uncontrollably on the moors, totally unscripted, his nose was running from a cold, and Lance decided to leave it in. Back in the story, the boys arrive the slaughtered lamb. The pub atmosphere is strange. The locals are stranger. David and Jack tried to order from the barkeep. Keep it down. Jack throw a line. Remember the Alamo, but the locals mock. And David noticed the weirdest 5-pointed star on the wall. Things suddenly get tense. Someone tell them time to go, and God will be with them. But the real warning hit hard. Stay on the road, keep clear of the moors. That advice ignored. As they walk under the night sky, they sing in the rain, laughing to chase the nerves. But then the werewolf howl. Hear children from my ginger snaps a breakdown. Raw, cruel, and irrelevant. David fate splits. Jack is mauled. David survived, but not done change. The curses mark him and paid the price. I count werewolves in my lives lost count because they weren't once people too. So that matters. After ignoring the pub patrons' warning, Jack David wandered deeper in the night, and nerves mass with nervous laughter and a cringy rendition of Singing in the Rain. That when David casually bring up Heathcliff, the sarcastic guy who a Garfield's spiritual cousin, it's random and valid, but the chat dies when they hear a growl and something is watching in front of them. Moment, Jack gasps, "Oh shit, what is that?" Panic takes over. Take over. They bolted and miss limit. David trips. His face hit the wet earth. Jack scream split through. Then the first kill, Jack was mauled to death at 60 minutes and 26 seconds. David doesn't run. He rushed back. Loyalty or shock, maybe both. But he get attacked too. Wounded and then bang. The werewolf got gunned down by the pub patrons at 60 minutes and 48 seconds. The creature collapsed. David turns it not a beast anymore, it's a man. The horror just got real. Locals rush him to the hospital where we meet Alex Price, played by Jenny Agata, for hit clock her as Jonah Simpson from Child Play. Her calm and plus David spinal trauma, and this marks the shift, the curse in a real body count hasn't even started. Alex tried to wake David. He groggy, and turned out that the staff was told that a lunatic, but we know better. It's actually the curse. It's a werewolf. David started to have strange dreams. He meet Dr. Hirschka and Mr. John. Actually, Mr. Connor. And they contact his parents while he recovering. And then he got upset when then Alex gave him a shot. He dripped deeper in primal, and he started to realize This isn't about Lucy, it's about Agent. We meet Inspector Vils, a stoic spectacle. He takes statements, start, build a report. David and Jack both witness something beyond logic, something the filmmakers have permission to show in the underground and preserved circus, a rare feature of the horror production team. They also have permission from the zoo, the theater, everywhere. In the dream again, this time he ran naked, feral, chasing prey. The was spot and eat deer is the beginning of his transformation. He no longer just David creature. Alex, meanwhile, a patient of the PI care, and the hospital is actually a quite contrast of the chaos looming outside. She checked on David and bring him food, tenderness, and mix of dread. She not yet come. The fog thickens, and David runs into the forest again. This time, he is a different version of himself and Alex. He tells Dr. Hurst about his nightmares, and his scratch healed too fast. Hurst suspects that it's something deeper, but I actually think it's. But he actually think David is losing it. Alex, David called beautiful, and David believed it. The strange comment. Honestly, the next one is actually another nightmare takeover. This time he was at home and Yahtzee werewolves, war zone, gunfire, flames, death. David watched him shoot, burn, and he also got killed, and they also killed Alex. It was actually a dream. I'm actually. One of my rules is if it's a dream, I'm not going to count it. Arrive in the morning, breakfast is served, and David up early, look at the worst. Then he actually saw dead. Not living, not fully dead, but just there. Jack watched David watch him eat toast like nothing changed, but he decayed face. But Jack tell him why he's back. He doomed to a ghost tethered to David because he the next werewolf. The next full moon will tear him apart unless he severed the curse. You must end the bloodline, Jack warns. The power of darkness is in you. Before fade away, Jack urged him to kill yourself. not out of cruelty, but as a warning. Later, after David kissed Alex, he tried to tell her Sue away. He settled that he a werewolf. John Landis wrote this as 18 and it took decades to get made. David not land this role after Landis saw him in a Dr. Pepper commercial. They were both peppers. Griffin Dunn got cast at 10 minutes at chat and script read Landis. Then Aykroyd and John Belushi were almost cast at David and Jack, but Landis refused to it into a comedy duo. Jack Baker won first ever Oscar for Best Makeup work for this film. David transformation take 10 hours a day for a 6-day shoot. Baker told not I feel sorry for you. Griffin Dunn accidentally ripped the werewolf puppet face off during his death scene. And Baker jokingly attacked him with the replacement head. The werewolf howl was made 8 different animal sounds, include wolves, monkeys, and elephants. The film was mostly shot, which is rare in filmmaking. Landis bribed London police with screening of Blue Brothers to get permission to film the play circus. David Nutt was actually naked in the wolf cage with real wolves. He was terrifying, especially with female trainers watching. Every song was a film was a moon, entitled Blue Moon, Moon Dancers, and Bad Moon Rising. Cat Steven refused to license Moon Shadow because he believed werewolves were real. Landis shot a promo film, See You Next Wednesday, himself after discovering all the cartoon feeders turned into adult films, adult cinema. Alex had take him on tour about herself and her honestly, she took a tour of the town and she actually liked him very much, and she feel different and intimacy with him, so the building on edge. So Moon Dancer, Moon Dancer played in the background. And fun fact, the original sex scene was much longer, but Landis had to cut it because he wanted to focus on the emotional, not the exposure. But the other fun fact is Jack scene when he eat the toast was supposed to be much more like he actually eat the toast and fall out of his throat. It preserved the R rated, and it supposed to. And the negative review of the attack of the homeless person, it's supposed to be the homeless people trio was supposed to be attacked on screen, but they actually been cut. So it will preserve their R rated. But the transformation was longer, but David effect work was demanded, and he spent more time on the scene and crafting the tendons and bone stretch and pain is art, not beauty. He actually won 7 Oscars for American Werewolf in London, Harry and the Hendersons, Ed Wood, The Nutty Professor, Man in Black, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and The Wolfman. He actually got so many roles. I actually can't say how many roles. He actually does a lot of makeup work. In the music video, he did werecat makeup and zombie makeup. In Thriller, he did the special effect makeup in Videodrome. He assisted to Dick Smith. He did the ape makeup in Planet of the Apes, 2001. He makeup consult in X-Men Last Stand and Hellboy, and he makeup designer for Jolene. He's actually a creature designer, a werewolf character designer, a creature effects, and for a creature designer in Beauty and the Beast, a werewolf designer, character designer in Werewolf, a creature effect in Captain EO, and a guest judge and mentor in Face Off. He played King Kong in 1997-6 King Kong. The zombie open in Thriller. He the passport control agent in Men in Black 2. He the gypsy man and the first kill in The Wolfman. And he the free rock. Now is sexy time in the shower, then the bedroom, and they fall asleep. Again, they did not even. And actually, when David actually head to the bathroom, he actually see Jack again, and he actually looked much worse, more decay and more graphic. And hold a Mickey Mouse figure, a detail that actually Jack doesn't waste time urges David to kill himself before it's too late. The full moon tomorrow and David won't stop until kill and eat people and the others like creature that bit him. Jack 1 is raw and urgent. David tells Alex that he saw Jack again. She knows that he's upset, doesn't fully understand, but she listens. And David referenced the Wolfman. If people would actually comment below, I will actually cover it. Meanwhile, Dr. Hirsch head to the Slaughter's Land and have a Guinness. And that's it. They played chess, and he asked about the star, and it'd been there for years. He brought the werewolves and the Kessler boy, and one of the patrons actually gets up and leaves, and the woman behind the bar said that no food and attention. And one of the patrons actually blurt out, "The boy in danger. It's almost the full moon," but get cut off by the chess player and said that's enough. But back in London, David is alone. Dog bark, bad sign. Animals can sense. Cat hiss and feels. You turn on and cue the music. The Bad Moon Arise by Clearing Revival. He does normal stuff, half in denial, half unraveling. But the full moon coming and nothing lasts for long. He actually head outside, check things out, and he actually does the giant fee fi fo fun bit. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Marching around proudly. A moment about losing. He paces back and forth and later at the hospital, the young patient gets some medicine, and she actually got tickled him and didn't know what happened. But the full moon tonight is changing time and werewolf. But some werewolf movies use CGI to actually change it to a werewolf. This is fully practical. Combine CGI, the hands with CGI, and use pure practical. And it actually ages well. Stretching, snapping, and snarling, and beautiful, and it actually ends with a solid release. 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 25 seconds. David fully transformed Maul through for Harry. to death outside. Pure animal brutality. The one of the women actually misread it by was hoodlums, and her husband actually it's Mr. Her asked for Alex, and she hadn't. She already headed out, and they actually got. And the man is headed out, and he actually got a glass of wine. And it's a common evening, or it seems Alex called David, but the man walks off. David does that in silence. Now David Hershaw realized that David told the truth. Well, no duh. Where you think all this dread coming from? We cut out to the homeless camp, and the river and bundle up at the quiet, and the silent goes heard to a sharp cut of a lone man. David transform is chasing him. A man panic through corners, hard to hammer, and he stumbles, escalated back one last time. Shadow overtakes him at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 12 seconds. George Grisby is mauled off screen by David in full wear. And fade with a ghostly howl. And he woke up at the zoo, naked, with wolves. And he brought a kid with 2 pounds, and he immediately ran off with the balloon. And the kid actually told his mom, a naked American man still run off with my balloons. Mr. and Dr. Hirsch pick up a newspaper headline. A man I counted earlier was mauled, and so it didn't happen. David returned with a coat from a woman and told that he actually lost his mind. He at the zoo, and Marie and Hirsch called to check in, and asked if she read the newspaper and want to know how David acted. David, he feel amazing, erotic, and full of energy, and 1 hour and 10 minutes. Alf, Ted, and I previous scout Gerald Grisby were all killed as 1 hour, 60 minutes, and 10 seconds. But I already counted Gerald, so I counted him again. David Unravel. Now, the bicalory Unravel. Now, he's upset on the edge, and now he wants to get arrested by the Bobbies, but everybody thinks it's a cosmic joke. And Alex he actually told Alex, "I love you," and he actually kissed her, and at the moment, it doesn't fix the curse, but the tragedy. David called his little sister and told her not to fight with Max, and strange, heartfelt, and now it feel, and he about to cut his wrist, but he won't. And Jack appears in an adult movie theater. Worse than Rod DeFrest, Hollow Eyes. And David actually got even worse. The rest. Fun fact: David is actually voicing his actual puppet. Griffin is actually voicing his actual puppet. The rest of David victims are pissed. They're stuck in a trap between worlds until the curse ends, until the werewolf dies. They started to picture ways where David could kill himself. Dark suggestion from the undead. The way it sinks. Then the transformation happened again. 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 57 seconds. There went full beast mode and mauled 5 more men inside this cinema. The Bobbies show up in Aftermath, and they actually see David eating at the 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 36 seconds. Investor Bills get his head bitten off by David. Son. Car just spilled through the street at 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 57 seconds. A massive car crash killed 7 civilians, all caused by David Rampage. The public thinks is now Dr. Hirsch wakes up Alex. It's actually David, a big dog that actually terrorizes David. The Bobbies actually corner David in the alley and go to shoot bullets. And Alex rushed in and tried to appease his humanity and say, "I love you," but it didn't work, and at 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 10 seconds. David is shot. Dead. He's gone. Alex cries in the alley. She lost the love of her life. It fades back to Blue Moon plays. Haunted, ironic, and eternal. How many lives lost did an American Werewolf in London have? Let's find out and get to the numbers. I see a bad moon arising. I see trouble on the way. I see numbers counted on the way. Let's get to the numbers. 20 people lost their lives in American Werewolf in London. 12 males, 1 female, and 7 unknowns. With a runtime of 97 minutes, we're looking at death every 4.85 minutes. A steady dripping of carnage. With great acts of execution, I give it to Inspector Vittles, who had a bit off clean. Brutal and unforgivable. The whippy acts go to, well, the 3 homeless man, Arf, Ted, and Johnny, who actually got the kill off screen. Tragic, but lack of visual punch. We actually did see them it was actually cut up from the original, but sadly, that's the full tally of American Werewolf in London, released in 1981. Who actually have a full a sequel with a whole new cast and a director Trauma Moonlight Madness, iconic werewolf scene. Up next, I will be covering Screamboat. Consider this my bonus lives lost count. Stay haunted, stay human, stay Nexus.